Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to say a few words on Saturn in Aquarius. I'm Margaret Gray and I live in Dublin, Ireland, and I hope this finds you all safe and well. So, Saturn is already in Aquarius, of course, since March 22nd, will be there for this first visit until June 30th, then goes back in December 17th until March 7th. So we're this first time in Aquarius, this time around, we're getting a little bit of a taster of what it feels like. And I'm sure you will notice the difference of when it lifted, when it came out of Capricorn into Aquarius, there was kind of a sense of there's some air to breathe. Now, I do a lot of relationship work, but just keep in mind that Saturn in Aquarius is not so much about one-to-one relationships. It's really about the bigger picture. It's about the relationship with our tribe, the relationship with our friends, the relationship with society as a whole, with the collective as a whole. Now, Saturn, the way it works, it really brings up obstacles first. It kind of highlights what's not working well. So at the moment, that's what we're seeing in the collective as a whole. We are seeing where are there inadequacies in terms of freedom of choice, also where are there inadequacies in inequalities, where is there a lack of fairness, where is there an imbalance of power. Those issues are really coming to the fore right now, and Saturn does that so that we can see them, we can look at them, and we can work with them. And that's what Saturn requires, is for us really to work with something to manifest it so that it's not just a concept. Now, Aquarius is quite a mental energy. It's really the energy of ideals, idealisms, ideas. It's also got the great ability to see the bigger picture, the pattern in things. So Saturn is helping us to get a view of that, to get a sense of that, a stronger sense of that. Some of the challenges, however, that may be thrown up with Saturn in Aquarius is the Aquarian drive for perfectionism, which sometimes kind of leaves out the fact that we're human and that mistakes are made and that we're not perfect and that we're all a work in progress, and so is our society. So just keep that in mind, and that the ideals we may have as a theory may not always work in practice. One of the things that really can help is for us really to connect with our hearts at the moment, so that the ideals in our mind, those ideals of a better world, actually come from a heart-led place rather than just from a theory, from a thought in our head, or from something we're reading. So keep very connected with the energy of love within you as a person, in your interactions with others, because sometimes we get so hung up with Aquarius, and particularly with Saturn, it can be a little harsh in terms of people are not doing things the right way. At the end of the day, we're all doing our best. So there can be a little bit of intransigence with Saturn in Aquarius. Now, at its very best, this transit can bring out really an overview of how can we create a fairer society? How can we be more just? How can there be more equality? And how can we begin to really join the dots of things that maybe we didn't actually see before, injustices in the world? Our focus is likely to be, in terms of interactions and relationships, on our friendships and also on our tribe. Who are our tribe? So they're not just our birth family. They're also the people we have chosen to have in our lives. For some people, it might be community groups. For us astrologers, of course, we have our astrology tribe. So this is a time to really put some thought into, and Saturn really wants us to work on this. So do put some thought, conscious thought into it. And that's another important word at the moment, is consciousness, so that we're not just acting out of our unconscious shadow, our fears, because Saturn can bring up fear. So back to what are we working on? We're working on our friendships. We're working on figuring out what our tribe is. Who are we missing at the moment? You know, which friends are we maybe missing that we'd love to see? And which groups of people are we finding ourselves interacting and really enjoying interacting? Also, the whole concept of distance and closeness, that's really being challenged at the moment with the whole idea of social distancing. Now, for some people might realize, gosh, I'm really comfortable being on my own. That's fine. And other people might realize, I really miss hugging. I really miss that physical contact. So notice how that feels, or how you feel about working online from home. again, this is likely to change our whole society, that many people might realize, gosh, why do I need to go into an office every day? And then for other people, it might be, gosh, I really miss the camaraderie. I miss the friendship. I miss the cups of coffee with my colleagues. But I wonder if that can be created in another way. So we're really, really examining what is this concept of distance and closeness. And for people sharing homes with loved ones or with roommates, this is really bringing up the whole issue of how comfortable are you with this degree of closeness. So it may be a little challenging for some people, and for others it may be very comforting. Again, no judgment. Really just observe and notice what all of this feels like. A couple more things I want to quickly say is that if you are age 29 or 59, you're actually you're coming up to your Saturn return, your first one or your second one. So if you're in your first one, then think back to what the 7-year previous periods were like. If you're going through your second Saturn return, maybe think of what your first one was like. That doesn't mean it's a repeat of it, but we build. Transits are like spirals. We keep working and working and working and refining. And Saturn really wants us to refine things. I'll leave you with a couple of important dates. Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on December 22nd. This is likely to be quite a radical time of change in our collective. So really be aware before then of what role you want to play, and again, what tribe do you belong to and what's important to you. Another very important date is going to be February 16th, 2021, the Saturn-Uranus square. That's really a time where we're challenging the paradigms. We're challenging the paradigm of relationships we're in. We're also challenging probably the financial paradigms that we exist in. So I wish you well, and if there's nothing else that you take from this talk, please just keep in mind to connect with your heart as well as with your head. That's very important at the moment, and always to keep very grounded in our bodies. Aquarius is a very mental sign. It can really challenge our nervous energy in our system. We are human beings in a body. We're basically animals in our body. And so really ground on a daily basis, whether it's walking in nature or just doing visualizations. And I wish you all the very best. And thank you again for inviting me here. Bye-bye.